Hello children, today I am going to take you to the first chapter of physics, that is motion, through this concept of e-learning introduced by your school so that you can go on with your learning process smoothly. Okay, so the first chapter which we are going to begin up with in physics is chapter number 8, that is motion. Fine. So about motion, we have to first understand what this term means, what this motion means. Fine, then we can proceed on one by one with the content of the chapter. Okay, so first is what is motion. So if I ask you, you will say it is movement, or you can say that it is the change in position of any object. Okay, when the object moves or when the object changes its position, we say that object is in state of motion. Let's do it with an example. Suppose you have an object placed at point A. After 2-3 minutes, or you can say after 2 minutes, you see that the object shifted from its position and moved to another position called as B. Now the position of object is not same. After 2 minutes, the position changes. So there is a changes position. It means the object is in motion. Let's take another example. The object is at position C. If you check after 2 minutes, still the object is going to be at position C. It means in this case, the object has not changed its position. It means the object is not in state of motion. At that time, the state of object is REST, rest. Fine. So from here we concluded that there are two states. One is the state of motion and another is state of rest. When the object keep on changing its position, it is in the state of motion. But when the object is stable, it's not changing its position. The object is in which state? The state of rest. Okay. Now, this chapter is about motion. You're not going to study about rest actually. Fine. Now, this doesn't mean that rest means nothing. Rest is something, but we are not going to do it. The reason is the same as, remember you have done one chapter in your grade 8. That is light. L-I-G-H-T. Fine. Have you ever done the chapter called dark? D-A-R-K, dark? I guess your answer will be no. You have never done the chapter called dark and never you are going to do it. Fine. The reason behind is your light include dim light, bright light, the different phenomena like what you have done is reflection, refraction. But in dark, what you will study? Or in general way, you can say that dark is nothing, but it is just the absence of light. So if you study light, you study different phenomena, different terms related to it. And where the light is not there, what you have there is dark. Okay. Similarly, I guess it is clear now that motion include many terms into it. And rest means absence of motion. When the object is not in motion, the object is having which state? The state of rest. Okay. So this is the introductory to what is motion actually. Now we begin with the chapter. In the beginning, there are few terms. To make those terms clear, I'm going to go to the terms one by one in detail. Let's do that. The first thing what you must be aware of in the beginning is position. Position, or what we can say is location. Location. Now suppose somebody is asking you that where is your house? You say my house is in Krishna Colony. So where is that? Where is Krishna Colony? Are you telling the specific location? Are you telling the specific place? No. Fine. So location or position means specifying your position, specifying your area. Fine. So when you have to talk about position or when you have to make somebody clear about position, we have to basically work on 2-3 things. Fine, we are going to do these 3 things in detail. And we are going to do these things with the help of an example. So let's do the example first. Suppose here is your home at this place, and somewhere away from your home your uncle is standing. Okay, now your uncle wants to visit you, want to come to your home. Okay, so uncle called you and he asked you that where is your home, bacha? You said, uncle, my home is at a distance of 10 kilometers. So uncle said okay, and then you cut the call. So will uncle be able to reach you? I guess no. Why so? Because you told uncle that it is 10 kilometers, but uncle is not clear. Then uncle again called you. He asked you that, bacha, from where it is 10 kilometers? Then you said, okay, sorry uncle, it is 10 kilometers from, what is it? Bus stand. It is at a distance of 10 kilometers from bus stand. And again you cut the call. Again uncle called you. He said that, bacha, from bus stand it is at a distance of 10 kilometers. But from bus stand the 10 kilometers can be in this direction. It can be in some this direction, it can be this way, or it can be this way. So have you specified your direction? You got the point? So whenever you have to, now let's move on to this. Whenever you have to talk about position, you have to locate any object, you have to keep 3 things in your mind. Okay. First is magnitude. Second is reference point, and third is direction. The terms are again new to you, so I am going to speak or explain each one in detail. Okay. So first is magnitude. Remember, you called your uncle called you and you said, I am at a distance of 10 kilometers. So this 10 kilometers is your magnitude, which include a number and a unit. So what magnitude is? It is a number plus unit. Okay. Remember this, that without unit your number is of no meaning. Fine. For example, I called you and I asked you that for how long you studied today. You said, ma'am, I study for 2. So what is that 2? 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 hours. For how long you study? So you have to specify. Along with that too, you have to tell the unit also. Fine. Now the next is your reference point. Now uncle called you and he asked that from where it is 10 kilometers. You said it is 10 kilometers from bus stand. So you specify a position from where it is going to be 10 kilometers. Fine. So that position which you take as a reference, or you can say which you take as a standard, we say that is your reference point. Like here, magnitude is 10 kilometers and your reference point is your bus stand. You consider bus stand as your reference point. Fine. And the third and the very important, and I guess that is clear to you now, that in which direction it is. Fine. So these 3 terms you need to be clear with if you want to specify any position, any location. Now the second and the very important thing is, which you know very well, but let's go with the meanings of it. That is from where you started and where you end. Remember, in general way we say that from where we start. We start from bus stand. We say bus stand is what? It is the starting point. It is the starting position. Where you end, we say it is the final position. Or in scientific way, we can say the bus stand is what? What I am writing here is initial position, and where I reach, home, the final destination, we call it as final position. Okay, so position means location. It is of two types. From where you start, we call it as initial position. Where you end, we call it as final position. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. Okay, now the next term which we are going to do is physical quantities. Okay, so what is that? Physical quantity. Fine. You have a number of terms, a number of quantities, many of which you have already studied. Some you are going to study now. Fine. Those quantities, we categorize them as physical quantities, or you can say all those quantities which can be measured. For example, I have this marker. Can you measure the length of this marker? Yes, you can. So this length is what? This is a physical quantity because this is measurable. Fine. Or I say, what is my mass? My mass is 80 kg. So we are able to measure that. So that is a physical quantity. So any quantity which can be measured, that is categorized as a physical quantity. Fine. Many quantities you have already done, like length, mass, time, pressure, force. Many quantities you are going to do now. Fine. So before beginning with the quantities, let's see its categorization. We categorize the quantities, the physical quantities, into two forms. Fine. One is scalar quantity and the second is your vector quantity. Okay, so any quantity which only have magnitude but there is no direction associated with it. Okay, magnitude. Now what is this magnitude? You are clear with it? Magnitude is a number and a unit. Fine. So any quantity which only require magnitude and that is specified. For example, my mass. If I want to say that my mass, what is my mass? My mass is 80 kg. So is there any need of any direction? Without direction, I can just normally say that it is 80 kg. There is no need of some particular, direction. Fine. So that quantity which only require magnitude and that's okay. We say that is scalar quantity. So example 1 I have already given you, mass like 80 kg. Fine. Or you can say length. This I have already given you earlier. That suppose this, you want to know the length of this marker. Now let's say it is around 10 centimeter or 12 centimeter. Fine. So the length of this marker is 12 centimeter. So what I can say, 12 centimeter in east or 12 centimeter in west, in north and south. That is not required. So direction is not needed. If only you tell the magnitude, that is sufficient. Fine. So length is which quantity? Scalar. Because only magnitude can easily specify it. Fine. Moving on to the another side, that is vector quantity. The quantities which have magnitude plus direction. Fine. Any quantity which have both magnitude and direction, we say that is your vector quantity. For example, you have say force. You have already done what is force. So I am going to give this, okay, as an example. So in force you have done, let's take an example. You have two blocks of same mass, of same size, same dimensions. Fine. You apply a force of 1 Newton on this block A and you apply a force of 5 Newton on this block B. Okay. Now one thing is, the magnitude of the force applied on A is 1 Newton. So it's less as compared to the magnitude of force applied on B. Fine. So on A, 1 Newton force is applied, so it will displace a little bit. On B, 5 Newton force is applied, so it will move more as compared to block A. So this is based upon magnitude plus the direction in which you are going to apply force. The object will definitely move in that direction. For example, in block A, you apply the direction forward. Fine. So the object will move in forward direction. In this B, you apply the force in reverse direction. So the object will move in reverse. Fine. In backward direction. Fine. So this is all about the physical quantities. I am repeating it once again. All the quantities which can be measured are under the category of physical quantities. You are going to come across a number of quantities. Fine. We categorize them in two ways. So when you are going to study the quantities one by one, you must be aware of which is physical, which is vector and which is scalar. Fine. So there are two types, scalar and vector. Any quantity which is only depending upon magnitude and that is specified, we say that is scalar quantity. Example, your mass, length, etc. Vector quantity which require magnitude. Magnitude is required everywhere, in every quantity. Plus, any quantity which require direction also, we say that quantity is your vector quantity. For example, force. It require a particular direction. The direction in which you apply force, the object will go in that direction. Fine. So this is the topic for today. We did the introduction to motion. We did the term position. And then we did the term physical quantities. You are going to prepare, I'm going to give you the link for this, the book from where you are going to study. Please go with it. Please go with the video. If you have any doubts, you can call me. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe.